Hey everyone, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a true beauty of the houseplant world. We're going to master the care for the beautifully fluffy, but let's be honest, notoriously finicky cotton candy fern. So, if you've ever felt completely intimidated by ferns, well, you're in exactly the right place. Let's breeze through the agenda real quick. First, we'll meet the cotton candy fern. Then we're mastering light and humidity. After that, we'll dive into water, soil, and feeding, move on to pruning and propagation steps, troubleshoot some common fern problems, and finally wrap up with pro tips for lush growth. Okay, before we get to the solutions, we kind of have to address the elephant in the room. It's the ultimate frustration for houseplant lovers, isn't it? You bring home this gorgeous, vibrant fern, and literally within weeks, it's just this crispy, brown-tipped mess shedding all over your living room floor. If you've been there, trust me, you are not alone. It all really comes down to misunderstanding what these specific plants are actually built for. Section 1. Meet the cotton candy fern, a cloud of spun sugar. The biology behind this beauty is honestly fascinating. So the cotton candy fern is a compact cultivar of the classic Boston fern, but here is the absolute crucial difference. Its leaflets are split into even smaller segments. Because it's so extra divided, this fern has massive surface area. Now that surface area creates that amazing soft fluff that literally looks like spun sugar. But it also means it sheds moisture rapidly. It dries out so much faster than a standard Boston fern. It's a gorgeous trade-off for sure, but one we absolutely have to manage. Section 2. Mastering light and humidity, the foundation of fern survival. 60%. 60% or higher, that is the magic ambient humidity number you absolutely must hit to keep this fern from sulking. Humidity is basically the whole game with the cotton candy fern. Honestly, it's even more important than light or watering. Because of that massive surface area we just talked about, typical winter indoor air, which often hovers around a super dry 20 to 40%, is going to be its absolute hardest test. Just look at what happens when we ignore that rule. In dry winter air, especially if it's near a heating vent, this fern will scorch and drop leaflets almost overnight. The warm, forced air is stripping moisture way faster than the roots can ever replace it. But put it in high humidity, like say a steamy, bright bathroom or a closed glass terrarium, and it stays incredibly soft, full, and green. A small humidifier nearby is going to be your absolute best friend here. Alongside humidity, we definitely need the right light. The golden rule here is bright, indirect light only. Absolutely no direct sun. Direct sun is the fastest way to ruin those delicate, frilly fronds. They will bleach and scorch within hours on a hot windowsill. Instead, just place it about 3 to 5 feet back from an east-facing window. You want it bright enough that you could comfortably sit there and read a book without a lamp, but totally out of any harsh, direct beams. Section 3. Water, soil, and feeding. The daily grind. Okay, watering. This is where a lot of really well-meaning plant parents go wrong. A classic beginner mistake is watering straight down, right over the top of the plant. Seriously, never do this. It traps water deep in that dense fluff and just completely invites crown rot. Instead, for true pro mastery, water gently around the outer edge of the pot, directly at the soil line. You want to do this as soon as the top half-inch of the soil feels dry to the touch. Don't rely on a strict schedule, just, check it with your finger. And because we're checking with our fingers, the soil needs to be just right. Plain, bagged potting soil is a really bad idea for these guys. It just packs into dense mud. You need a springy, airy soil mix. So aim for roughly 2 parts, or about 66%, peat moss or sustainable cocoa coir for that acidic moisture retention. Then add 1 part, or 34%, perlite for drainage. This precise balance is a game changer. It prevents the roots from suffocating in mud, ensuring water flows right through while still keeping the whole environment evenly moist. So let's move on to feeding and see how this builds on our watering routine. Ferns are notoriously light feeders with very, very sensitive roots. Feed them every 3 to 4 weeks from spring through early fall and use a balanced liquid fertilizer diluted to half strength. Oh, and here's an absolutely critical pro tip. Only apply fertilizer to soil that is already moist. Fertilizing a bone-dry plant will concentrate the salts and cause nasty chemical burns on those delicate roots. Remember, underfeeding a fern is always, always safer than overfeeding. Section 4. Pruning and propagation steps. Graduating to expert. Pruning a fern is really mostly about housekeeping. When you see dead, browned, or yellowed fronds, don't just snip off the brown tips and leave a weird little stub. You want to cleanly cut those spent fronds right down at the very base, down near the soil line.
This clears out dead material that traps moisture and breeds pests deep in the crown, and it actually prompts fresh, healthy growth straight from the center.
Now, as your plant grows, you're eventually going to need to repot it, usually every 2 to 3 years when the roots completely fill the pot. And guess what? This is the perfect time to propagate. You can easily multiply your collection by dividing the root clump. In the spring, simply unpot the fern, gently split the fibrous clump into sections with your hands or a clean knife, and pot the new sections into that fresh mix we talked about. Keep them loosely covered in a clear plastic bag for a week or two. That just boosts the humidity while they recover from the shock.
Actually, before we move to troubleshooting, I want to share a quick pro tip that saves beginners a ton of anxiety. If you ever flip over a mature frond and see neat, even rows of little brown dots, please don't panic. Those are natural spores called sori. They are just a sign of a healthy, mature fern doing its thing and reproducing. They are definitely not a pest infestation. If the dots are in orderly rows, just leave them be.
Section 5. Troubleshooting common fern problems, from crispy to cured.
Even the experts run into issues, right? So when you're diagnosing problems, remember these simple fixes. If you see brown, crispy edges, your cause is almost certainly dry air, and the fix is simply adding a humidifier or moving it to a bathroom. What if the plant is wilting but the soil is wet? Well, that's root rot from soggy soil. You'll need to unpot it, trim the mushy roots, and repot it in that airy mix we discussed. And if you notice a hollow, dead center in the crown, that usually points to low light or a shock, like a cold draft. Just move it to a brighter spot, clear out the dead fronds, and let it push out some new growth.
Now we do need to talk about actual bugs. Because that gorgeous, dense fluff is just an absolutely perfect hideout for pests, they can be super hard to spot early on. You should gently part the fronds and inspect deep in the crown weekly. Keep an eye out for the fine webbing of spider mites in dry air, or maybe the white cottony tufts of mealybugs. If you spot them, treat the plant gently. Ferns really hate harsh chemicals, so knock the bugs off with water and treat the plant with a gentle insecticidal soap or a neem solution.
Section 6. Pro tips for lush growth, the masterclass.
All right, if you remember literally nothing else today, master these golden rules. Number 1, always keep that humidity above 60%. 2, never let the soil dry out completely. Water it when that top half inch is dry. 3, keep the plant far, far away from dry heating vents or cold glass drafts. 4, if your tap water is hard, definitely use gentle, filtered water to prevent brown mineral tips. And finally, consistently clear out dead material to promote good airflow.
Look, this plant doesn't have to be a massive source of stress. The cotton candy fern is incredibly rewarding. Once you nail its specific environmental needs, especially that crucial humidity, it will genuinely look like a literal cloud of green spun sugar just sitting there in your home. So, it's time to take action. I want you to take a look around your house right now. Where is that hidden oasis? Perhaps it's a bright bathroom shelf that catches the morning sun and the post-shower steam? Or maybe you've got an empty glass terrarium just waiting to become the perfect sanctuary. Find that perfect steamy microclimate, and you are totally ready to grow your very own beautiful cotton candy fern. Thanks so much for hanging out with us for this explainer. Happy growing!